What's going on, everybody? Beveragy here, and we are finally diving into the Why Don't We album, the good times and the bad ones. I've gotten a bunch of people ask me to do this. Plus, I've also I've seen the Fallen, um, both the original version and a live version, and both were so different, and there were so many incredible vocal moments from several different members of the band that all that was just more than enough for me to want to check these guys out. Obviously, I don't know anything about them other than the fact that they've got some serious vocal talent within the group, and starting off with that is pretty much all I really need to get me to want to dive into an artist. That's a great place to start, and then we'll see what we get going from there. So with that being said, I'm just going to kind of dive into this. I don't really have anything else to say considering I know nothing about the guys. If you want to get this full, completely uncut album reaction plus like a whole bunch of other stuff, you can check out my Patreon. That is in the description. The link will be below. And I say we just dive in now. Now, don't expect me to know who is who. That is far, like, I'm going to have zero capabilities of that going into this. But with that being said, if I like this enough, then I'll end up checking out music videos and whatnot. And then that way we'll, along with live performances, and then that way we'll be able to discern who's who, vocally speaking. So let's dive in. I'm pretty excited to do this considering we're starting off with a song that I really, really enjoyed. Fallen. Adrenaline. So big. This was obviously, I don't know the rest of the album, but this was such a good single choice. Like, such a good choice for a single. Why do I love this feeling? Don't keep me guessing. You are my muse. That right there is so. It reminds me so much of like old school boy band, like a Backstreet Boys NSYNC sort of vocal that they would throw in there as a riff that would follow like one of the other singers. I just really enjoy that element especially. And it really is just another way to show off the range of these guys. I don't want to stop it. I don't want to pause it. I'm not pausing. Fuck that. It's really hard not to think about the Black Skinhead song every time I hear that drum. But I was gonna say this song. I know I saw a live performance, but it wasn't. It was a cappella. Like it wasn't with full band or their instruments, I should say. I would love to see this live. I'm talking love to see a live performance of this with all the instruments and with those loud drums and with the full harmonies, like with the instruments behind it. It would sound so good, I bet. That chorus, the first part, like the second part, they start to use a lot more variety in the notes they're hitting during the harmonies. The first part, though, they're all pretty much in the same range, and it's a very low range. And they all sound so good together, which is really impressive because it's hard to get that many guys, especially, singing in a lower range like that and all sounding good together. Like actually carrying out a note where it doesn't just sound like you're making a noise, like they're actually singing in tune. Oh. Yes. That, and obviously I've heard the song before, yes. But I want to point out, I wish that riff, that like backing belt back there was more forward. I wish that they just like did like took the filter off of it and just raised the volume on it and just threw it forward into the mix. Like that would sound so good. Right there. Right there. Oh, it's too low in the mix. It sounds so good. It's so gosh. And so like Backstreet Boys with a lot of these vocals at the end. I mean, which is the highest compliment. If why don't we were told like, hey, I'm drawing some Backstreet Boys comparisons of some of these vocals you're serving as a group. There's no way that they wouldn't just be completely honored by that kind of statement, because that's like one of the arguably the best boy band ever, right? Like they're definitely in the conversation anyway. But yeah, their voices are so good and different that there's no need to kind of like have that loud belt there, like the volume on it's so low. Like just let it go. Let it go. But maybe we'll get some more big vocal moments in the rest of the songs. We'll see. The next track 2, is Slow Down. This melody is so familiar. Like, so familiar.
I've been lying to myself and I know why.
I've 1,000,000,000% heard this melody and this guitar riff. There's no way I haven't. Because it's that familiar. I'm guessing it's a sample because I don't recognize. I was waiting for the vocals to come in and see if it would hit me, but I don't recognize this vocal at all. So maybe they sampled it. But I love this sort of atmospheric vocal we're getting right here.
Oh, I'd do anything to save ya.
Oh my god.
I think we need a little Californication. We took a shot at this, but maybe we're too wasted.
Oh, we took a shot of this. Maybe we were too wasted. It's hard to swallow this. Or we need to chase this. It's hard to swallow this. Like there was like a swallow, but like a chaser after you take a drink and being wasted. There was like a whole scheme there. I really appreciate that lyricism.
Slow down. I think that we just need to slow down, slow down.
I love how.
Turn around. Things were so simple way before now.
I love how they're not doing too much. Just letting that voice shine right there.
We were comfortable. We didn't understand, but now we know.
Oh,
I think we need a little Californication.
I like this one a lot. So I'm not a huge Jonas Brothers fan. I am familiar with like with back when they were like really hot. I don't even remember the years. But I was pretty familiar with their singles, not their deeper cuts. And this really gives me those vibes.
We took a shot at this, but maybe we're too late. Slow down. I think that we just need to slow down. Slow down. Things were so simple way before.
Oh, give me a big vocal here at the end. That would be so perfect with how reserved it's been. See, the song like this works. I'm so glad that they kept the integrity of the song by keeping these vocals somewhat minimal, but like atmospheric. And because you're doing all that and not going over the top of a lot of the other stuff, it feels so much more genuine and authentic. Like I really feel like I can see them talking to this girl or guy, whoever it might be. I feel like I'm seeing this situation happen in front of my eyes. And I wouldn't feel that way if I felt like there was so much going on and I was distracted by all this. Like it's just genuine vocals. Yeah, there's the vocals. Yes. So again, first of all, I love this song. Like, I love this song. But I will say, at the end, I feel the same way I feel about Fallen with these vocals here. It's the same thing where it's just very low. Like, the instruments are so much louder than the vocals here. And I'm sure they were doing that on purpose. But they're such good singers that I feel like I just want to hear that voice. Yeah. Just imagine that vocal much more forward. It would sound so good because they sound so good. All right, Lotus In that song is like a playlist song for me. That is right up my alley in every way. Lotus In is track 3. I recognize this title. I've seen. I feel like I've seen a lot of reactions to this song pop up on my timeline, but I never heard the song or like watched those videos. So let's jump in.
I think we both know how this night's gonna end. The way that you move your hips to the rhythm of the beat, you got me so nervous. Think I need another drink within you. Cause I never want this night to wait.
I like that. I wish the sun would turn the other way because I never want this night to. I'm guessing he said end. The instrumental came in, so I didn't hear what they said there, but that is a clever lyric. I feel like I haven't heard this voice yet. This voice is it has like a lot of vulnerability in it. Like it feels like it's about to crack, but there's like something very appealing about that sound.
You played it over and over again before it even hit the radio.
There's so much rasp in there.
Now they spin it over and over again.
Who's this?
We've had a few over and over and over again. Yeah.
I like that voice a lot. I don't know who that is. It's just another one that I bet hits real nice live.
Baby, we can turn back time.
That low register.
Over again.
Something about the end of that song, interesting kind of smoky sound there at the end, but something about the end of that song, that guitar riff anyway, made it feel like the sun was actually coming up. That's just like the sound that it felt like. So, which makes sense because the song's over, the night is over, and now it's the sun that they've been hoping wouldn't come out, but it's finally out. I like that. If that's what they meant to do, I like that, and if not, I like the coincidence of it. All right, Be Myself is track 4. Ooh, much different instrumental here.
My head colliding, I decide I'm staying in tonight.
I've heard this low register a couple times now, and I love it.
But it's beating uncontrollably.
Come on, listen to how he says beating. Just like listen to how he kind of drags out the E and the A, the vowels in that word. I think he did it also when he did controllably, like he carried out the O a little bit, but he throws like he drags it out a little bit. It just sounds so nice. There's so much going on with this voice.
Tonight. They say follow your heart.
Wow.
But it's beating uncontrollably. I can't.
I love
what it's telling me this time.
It's beating uncontrollably. I can't. I'm so curious as to where this is going. So curious. I'm so happy that it did it.
Oh, take me somewhere I am free.
I kind of hope that it doesn't get big, because I love this vibe so far. Oh yes, yes. I love this song. A lot of the times, artists, and it works a lot of the time. But when you nail what you're trying to do, what they tried to do is make this a really laid back sort of sound, and that's matching exactly what they're singing about, right? Like they're being really vulnerable here. And when you're doing that, you're going to keep the vibe of that instrumental sort of laid back with that. But a lot of the time, more for the sound than anything, that song you expect to just get really big, a big drop followed by like a big chorus, or a big drop going into like a more subdued chorus, but you get that drop either way. I'm so happy that they did not do that, because it stays true to the message of the song. And not only that, the fact that they did it so well. If they didn't do it as well as they did, then maybe you need that big drop, or you need that huge chorus. But this song doesn't need that, because they perfected what they were trying to do here. I'm so happy. I love this.
I've never had pride.
Oh, and then you add those strings. Dancing on the edge, I might fall again. It's so vulnerable. This song is so relatable, right? I feel like everyone that listens to this is going to be able to relate to this.
On the edge, the anxiety's a legend. I might fall again. I might fall.
Another interesting outro. I like that. Like that one was almost kind of, there's this hollow sound where it's echoing and slowly fading, and it almost makes it seem like he fell, which could be bad. Probably is bad. Shit. The fact that it's got me thinking tells you everything. This is a song I'm going to be going back to a lot. I love this. One of my faves for sure. Next track, track 5, Love Song. Interesting title following Be Myself. You know, we're always looking for titles and continuity with these albums.
I wrote another love song, baby, about you. I've written one for every second without you.
That's a hell of a transition.
Lately I've been working on myself.
Alright, so my problem with this song is that for the riffs, those riffs, it goes like this riffs, crazy. Like crazy. The guys are so talented, and that's so obvious. But it would have been so nice, and they didn't do it, if they did some serious belts here at the end, especially when you already have such a nice vocal melody like that. When you're doing it goes like this. Like, you know what they were doing. I'm not gonna be out of tune and ruin your guys' ears, but it would have been nice if
for every other love song, baby, about you.
Right here.
I've written one for every second without you. It goes like this.
I love that. I love the drop down. That was perfect. So you do the drop down, but then after you do a drop down like that from the previous melody, I feel like it would have been incredible to hear them follow it when they do it again, to just go all out with it. As far as their range goes, obviously.
It goes like, yeah, it goes like, yeah. I wanna see the whole damn world with you, baby. Yeah, you could be the one, girl, you're driving me crazy. It feels like this.
Yeah, like right there, it just feels like it's missing that. It's super anticlimactic, if I'm being honest with you. And yeah, I just think they're, like I've said it before, they're so talented that I know they're capable. I can hear it in their vocals. So that just would have been so nice right there. But yeah, let's go to the next song. Gray. Piano.
I can't even hide it.
Oh.
I haven't stopped thinking about your lips. Your lips.
See, they're such good singers.
I'm losing.
And they're I don't know if, obviously I can't separate the vocals, but I've heard this vocal quite a bit, and there's another vocal too. When they're both in a lower register, like this one right here, it's such a rich sound. It's so rich, and it's those vocalists that are able to do those big belts that have that rich low register. Even if you're not singing you don't have to belt in this crazy high range. You just keep it within your range, but you still, when you have that rich voice, you can do it. I know they can do it. He sounds beautiful, his voice here.
Yeah, your kiss.
Oh, give me that melody again. That was so nice.
You've been there through it all. You answered all my calls.
That's nice.
Tears, it's slamming doors. I'm falling down on the floor, begging, please.
Listen to the vocals.
You don't want me no more, begging, please. Want to blame, baby.
Oh my gosh.
I walked away. I know that's not enough, but it's true.
Oh my god.
It's true.
They're really good at singing with emotion. Really good.
I can answer all my calls.
God, I love that melody. It's so nice. Okay, this song is one of my favorites so far. It's added to my favorites on here. It's so good. What haven't I said about this song that's left to be said? I mean, the emotional vocals, that melody with the answered all my calls, and then the riffs and runs after that. It's so nice. I'm curious as to where the next minute and a half goes, because that's a lot of time left for a ballad. I'm hoping we get some serious harmonies at the end here to really drive those emotions home. Just give me these beautiful vocalists all just giving it to me. There it is, yes! Oh, come on, we'll take that back. That's exactly what that's word for word what I asked for, and I got it. I'm so happy. They killed that. They killed that ballad. So impressed by that. Oh. That was so good. That was so good. Worth every second. Not a second too long. I like that there was like kind of just a piano string outro there. It was like 30 seconds long, but it's perfect because those instruments were so beautiful on the song. So you never complain about getting that much of it. It was almost like an orchestra. It was so good. And then, like I said, the vocals and then how they ended it was just perfect. Okay, another one of my favorites. Track 7 is next. For You is the title of it.
Doing fine, I just stop thinking crazy. I'll be there. I'll be there for you.
I like.
I'll be there for you.
Oh, I like that. I like that production effect.
Be there for you.
Oh, okay, all right. I wasn't sure, but I'm in. I'm in.
Really gotta ask myself.
Oh, that's a nice change. What?
You were good for me then, why do I put you back?
Why? It's like this is like hip hop.
Think I would've asked by now.
What? What?
You'll be okay, and I'll be alright.
This is like super kind of 90s hip hop and R&B like mixture. I can't think of specifically what it reminds me of as far as the artist, but it definitely reminds me of a particular sound. But I love it. And I wasn't the whole first minute. I thought I was not gonna like this song, and then just the chorus hit. The sounds were so kind of well produced, and I like the in and out effect. And it helps when you have that in and out effect, and you have these great vocalists to accompany that great production. And then I felt like I was in the club, and then we went into like a hip hop sort of instrumental, and whoever was singing on that carried that. I mean, just flexed all over that.
I gotta say, 'cause if
There's a lot of I'm noticing between like the lower register, just rich vocals, and then there's some nice falsettos, some nice riffs in here. There's that vocal there that I heard that was like kind of Post Maloney. They have a lot of variety within the group vocally as far as ability to do different things. This is where I was concerned because I'm not a fan of like snaps like that and just vocals. For the most part, like it has to be done a very specific way, and I don't like that. But where it went right after that is just so good.
even when you're moving on, I hope you know I'll be there.
But it's easier to like now. I'm kind of enjoying it because of what it just followed, and because of what I know is coming.
For you,
Yeah. Oh gosh, that is. Okay, let me see why don't we with a club banger. This is a club banger. It is. It's one of those like just kind of groovy ones that you just vibe out to when you're in a club. Like I would have no problems with this song coming on. I'd actually be all for it. Okay. Let's go to the next one, and that is I'll Be Okay. Track 8.
these things oh so simple. Less stress, more. If she got the dimples, I get scared when I need your love tonight.
Oh, I like that.
Need your love. I'll be okay as long as you are. There's a moment we all think we know, but when it's too late,
There's
all
that
the
voice.
answers
There's that voice.
A love story on his side.
Oh yeah, vocalist. I can't wait to. I'm actually really excited to dive into like live performances from them and really discern the difference in voices, because I'm catching some serious vocal chops on this album.
We did it for the hell of it. We did it for the good times and the bad. We didn't think about what shit might happen.
Again, such a good restraint here to just keep those. I love those lower harmonies and just not going too crazy because it sounds so nice on this this beat here.
I'll be okay to keep it simple. I'll stay out of your way and won't let you know.
Oh,
I need your love tonight.
who?
Oh, tonight.
Whoa, I didn't see that coming. Who is this? This vocal right here? Who is this?
Simple. I'll be okay
Fire.
to keep it simple. I'll stay out of your way and won't let you know. I need your love tonight.
Who is that?
Oh shit, yeah, that sounds sick.
That's always cool to throw that kind of band moment in those songs. I think about One Direction and Olivia when it comes to that, and so many other like bands of all time. So who was that vocal there that I asked about? And then I also want to know, is it this song? I think it's this song.
All these thoughts inside my head colliding. I decide I'm staying in tonight.
Who's this voice? If you could tell me the names of those two voices, I don't think it's the same person. There's a very distinct difference in both voices, it feels like. I could be wrong, and but yeah, if you could tell me the names of those two or that one, I would really appreciate that. Okay. Track 9, Look at Me.
Your lips are kissing on my neck, down to my chest. I grab your shoulders, flip you over, you know where I'm going. Hold on to my hair, girl, go ahead.
Wait, what? Say that again, please, sir.
Red. Your lips are kissing on my neck, down to my chest. I grab your shoulders, flip you over, you know where I'm going. Hold on.
I grab your shoulders, flip you over, flip you. You're kissing my neck down to my chest. Sorry, Psyduck. This is consensual. I grab your shoulders, flip you. I mean, no matter which way he flips her, it's pretty hot. Just curious. Curious is all. All right.
My hair, girl, go ahead. I'm gonna make
When you're on your knees, girl, let me see those eyes. Oh, baby, say my name right to my...
I'm glad this is on the album because we're getting real grown up here, and the subject matter has been pretty consistent so far, which has been great. I've actually liked what they've been singing about, but this is definitely a turn for the adults. And I enjoy it. The only thing I would say is that it's not long enough. It's 2 minutes, not even. And that's, I guess, you know, you want to at least make it long enough to fill up a whole session, right? That's what this song is made for. This song isn't made for anything else but doing the dirty to. And if you make a song like that, songs like that should never be this short, because you want it to be as long as at least like a short session. But you know, that's all I'm saying. Double this time. Double the time. Give me 3.5 minutes and then we're good. I enjoyed everything else about this though. I'm really glad we got a song like this. Wow. I had to like re-listen to some of those lyrics because I was so like, oh shit, after everything else we've got on this album, this is what they're hitting me with? And like pretty specific shit. I dig it. All right, guys, I see you. You're adults, right? Wait, actually, I don't know if they're... Maybe I shouldn't be talking about that. All right, track 10, Stay. I'm going to assume if they have a song on the album like this that they're all adults. Let's go to track 10, Stay.
Just wish things could be like they used to, but they never will. Now I see right. Didn't say I wish you.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go back a little bit because I know there's a drop that I just paused it on. The vocal right here, I think that's a third person, or it could be the person I asked about that was on up at the end, towards the end of I'll Be Okay. But they're the ones with the Post Malone vibe to me. They just did it here again. This is like the second time on the album they've done it. They have delivering vocals like that. Like not every singer can do that, and make it sound choppy, but make it sound good. Post Malone is one of the artists that is one of the rare artists that can do it, and like a lot of rappers do it, but they don't sound great. Like it's a nice melody, it's a nice flow, and it sounds good with a beat. But they're not good singers. You're not like, oh wow, like they vocally sound really good. That's what this person on this part of the song sounds great doing, and that takes real talent. Like that's a very specific sort of niche vocal, and I really want to know their name because I love what they bring to this band. I mean, love that element in this band. That's not in Fallen anywhere, and I love that they brought that to this album, that this individual vocalist brought that to this album.
If
Yeah.
I didn't say I wish you stay, baby. I don't know you anymore. Tried my best to forget you.
Bazzy's another one. Post Malone, Bazzy. There's more. It's just not coming to mind right now. Kind of sad. I gave you all I could give you. All that's left is I Still Miss You. Ouch. That's a hard filler. Okay. Again, I love getting those hip-hop and R&B elements. There's so much about this album that intrigues me, and it's because I got a lot... Like, Fallen was the only song I heard, but I feel like nothing else on the album sounds like Fallen. And that's what I find so interesting. I feel like there's a lot of particular vocal styles that shine throughout this album that I just didn't catch on Fallen, because it's such a big sound. And there's not a lot of big sounds on this album. Like, it's somewhat lo-fi. It's honestly super R&B, if we're being honest, and I love that. That's my favorite genre. This is very consistent after Fallen, as far as like there's a lot of and this is my only complaint about the album, is there was a lot of being careful, it felt like. But at the same time, on the other end of that, I felt like it was too careful for just a couple songs in particular. I want to say it was the end of Fallen, and was it the end of Lotus In, or was it the end of Love Song? It might have been all three, or it might have been Fallen. No, it was definitely Love Song for sure, and it might have been the end of Fallen that really just needed some big vocals at the end, and not to just be so reserved, or not to just keep the volume so low on those vocals, or have them so far back in the mix. I was disappointed about that. But that was because they sound so... If they weren't great singers, then I would not want to hear that. I wouldn't be wishing that I was getting that. But put those couple songs aside where I did want that, completely take them out of the equation. Everything else, I really actually appreciate that they were able to, or that they did keep it... that they didn't do too much in moments that didn't call for it. And they had some serious integrity on this album, with staying true to the sound they were going for. Like, a lot of these songs blend in so nicely, and there's like some real vibes in this album. And I know that word can be overused, but seriously, like, there's a lot of straight up vibes on this album that you just are gonna play and be straight up vibing out to. I love Slow Down, Gray, and For You. Those are my top four. Fallen would probably be fifth. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Fallen. Top five is Fallen, Slow Down, Be Myself, Gray, and For You. Be Myself is a song that I'm going to be listening to a lot. That's nice. And Gray was Gray the ballad? I think it was the ballad. Yeah. Such a nice ballad. I can't wait to re-listen to a lot of these songs, actually. They really resonate with me as someone who's a huge fan of boy bands, huge fan of diverse vocals within boy bands. They really met a lot of that criteria I look for in that, and I'm so glad that that they have met that criteria for me, and I found that just on a personal level as someone who really enjoys that. And there were some good messages on this album too, which I was happy to hear. Really happy to hear some and a lot of consistency too within those messages. And then you get Look at Me, which needs to be longer. Come on, fellas, you can't make a sex song lower than 2 minutes. But we already talked about that. Really enjoyed this. And yeah, I really want to see a lot of live performances. That's what I want to do. I want to get these vocals live because I can hear the immense talent, and I just want to hear it live because I feel like it's going to hit so hard on some of these songs. All right, guys, thank you so much. Suggest live performances for me, please. And if you could answer those questions about particular vocalists, I'd really appreciate that. I love you all. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for waiting for this album. I know it's been a little bit, but I always get to them. That's what matters. All right. Love you all. Bye.